Dang,
So if you have a memory of me going in the house.
Yeah, but you did go in whenever you filmed Bailey's.
Yeah, I did go by. It was
which was really dope.
Yeah.
That footage, I had the privilege of holding a boom.
Man, you came in way clutcher than you believe, because we couldn't have got good audio without somebody there getting us audio, because we didn't have like a ton of different equipment and a ton of different people to like get it done.
Yeah.
But we nailed it.
Got it done, and it was a video. My sister stage name is Elsie. She did a video. Which video is it? River Avenue. Yep. And it's filmed and it looks amazing.
It was fun.
And you, Mo, Michaela, and Juan. Yep, they were the co-stars, and you and Mo, y'all filmed it, and it was beautiful, man. Yep. But yeah, dude. So segueing into that, what is it that you do?
All right, so for those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Franklin. I am a 25-year-old freelance.
Put that age out there. Are you single?
I mean, maybe if you yes, please call me, please. Nah.
Boys.
Nah, I'm essentially
how you just get back serious, bro?
I'm trying to keep it on track.
All right, I'm sorry.
Phone number will be in the description. Text between the hours of 9 and 9. But
oh shoot! All right, bro. I'm back. I'm essentially,
but I'm essentially a freelance director of photography.
Got you.
So basically, it's a fancy word for I'm a freelance videographer.
Nice.
So companies and people hire me to go out, and usually, recently, they've kind of had their vision, but they don't have the equipment. They don't have like the eye to execute, and that's what I come in and do. I come in and take the worry and the stress away from them and create something that they can be like super proud of and plus it's something I love doing, because I'm big on buying equipment. I'm big on like cameras and tech and anything I can put together. That's just my thing. Like this whole thing to set up was just like a joy to do, because it's something I love doing.
Gotcha.
So
that's dope. You said you were your description, it like listening to it, you bring the vision to life.
Yeah.
And Third World is real big on vision.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm like very honored to like have you as like a Third World brand ambassador.
Dude,
like you wear the merch in all your YouTube videos. I love it. And dude, like the vision, like to have sight is one thing, but to have vision is something totally different. And I feel like in order to be a successful freelance videographer, photographer, what the field that you work in, you have to have vision, because you have to be able to look at something that don't look right, you know, and you got to be able to say, okay, I want this here, and I've seen you do that.
Yeah, that is one thing. It's basically in the design sense. So I'm a graduate of the University of Southern Mississippi, and Southern Mississippi top. I graduated with a degree in art. With an emphasis in graphic design. And basically being a graphic designer is to be a problem solver. And that's kind of how I've approached video things, with an artistic eye, to problem solve, to get us to the end goal. So a thing that I do is when people seek me out, or when they need film, or when they want to do something, it's not like I'm like, all right, what do you want to film? Like, what do you want to do? Like, what's the thing? I'm like, what does the end result need to be? Because I'm gonna get us there by problem solving out the middle portion.
Problem solving.
Dude, it's the best thing to do. It's the best way to approach a situation. If you look at what you do as you're solving a problem for another person, what you do becomes more valuable. Yeah. And that is like a big thing with film, with design, with creative, because other people, not everybody has what you have. Yeah. So to be able to use what you have to help another person is beautiful. That is.
So how important does communication play in that whole problem solving?
Communication is a big thing. So I've tried to, even since I was young, I've tried like heavy to be a good communicator. Like verbally, I did well at that. I was great. And like, as I got older, I realized I wasn't a good communicator, whether it be like artistically or emotionally, or I would like just be me. Yeah. And to me, that was no problem, but to everybody else, it affects other people differently. I remember one time I was talking this was years. This was like 2 years ago when I first met Phil. Like, Phil was like, I don't feel like I can talk to you because I don't want to like offend you. And Mo would even say the same thing. And I'm like, well, why? I'm open for criticism. I'm super open for things, but that's not how I communicate.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm a very straightforward person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna say something and it's just gonna be straightforward. Yeah. It's gonna be unbiased. It's gonna be,
you ain't gonna mean no harm.
Right. And it's all just to better like myself and the person or the problem or the situation. And I guess that came from being a art major. So you go to art school 4 years, and if you can't take stuff to your feelings. Like, you create something, and people are critiquing it, and if you're getting upset because I made that and I like it, well, it doesn't solve the problem of the client. And like, for a while, that was just how I was. I was just, you know, I communicated to for the betterment of the end goal, and not holistically. But doing what I do now, you have to be a holistic communicator. And what that means is the client or the people that you're working with, they're seeking you out because once they have a problem that you can solve, they probably have emotional attachment to their problem because they need to figure it out and they feel like they're stuck and they can't do it themselves. So for me, I should not come in as, yep, we're gonna do this and we're gonna get it done. I need to come in as an empathetic voice to them and understand where they're coming from and help meet them halfway so we can get them to the end goal, not me, because my end goal is to help them. So as soon as we start, I'm already in the position that I want to be in. And it's just about helping them get to where they need to be.
That's so good. You said, that was a word that stuck out to me, understand, because you shoot all of the material for the Third production. You shoot anything that basically has me in it. Either you or Mo, y'all have your hands on it. And that was a big problem for me, was getting the other person to understand what I wanted, you know, to understand the vision, to understand the end goal. So how do you break down that process of understanding the end goal?
So with that, a very strategic one that comes to mind is when we helped out Bailey, when we shot Elsie's music video. So we knew the end goal was a music video that had some film aspects and a music video aspect to it. But the important thing to help the creative communicate to the creative, which was also Elsie, like helping us communicate with her, was all about setting her expectations. So a big thing for me is if you can control expectation of people, you can contain, like, whether it be their thought process or, because
what do you mean control expectations?
So imagine this: I shoot a third world event for you. I send you a video of what I think, like, on the direction I want to go. You start critiquing the color. You start critiquing it's not stabilized. I don't like the music's not loud enough. There's audio cuts. You start giving me crazy feedback. And let's say I take offense to it because I'm like, yo, it's not finished. Like, chill out. It's not done yet. This was the rough draft. I didn't set the expectation for you that it was a rough draft. You expect, as a client or as a person, you just expect to get your video. But my expectation is for you to be like, yo, are you on the right track? But if I don't communicate that effectively, then we are looking at two different things from two different perspectives. Because I'm looking at it like, yo, is this in the right direction? And you're looking at it like, is this the finished product? And controlling that expectation is really, really key. And I do that by just being transparent. Like, yo, this process is gonna take, it's probably gonna be like 2 rough drafts, 2 to 3 rough drafts. And even when I send videos to clients now, if it has something wrong with it, or if it has something that I have not done, I'm just like, yo, don't worry about the color. Do not worry about the stabilization of these particular things. This is the aspect I want you to pay attention to. Are we on the right track in that particular aspect? And can you give me feedback on that?
Nice.
That way you're containing their mindset to be like, oh, I shouldn't look at this as if it's the final product. I should be like, okay, this is cool. Maybe we can tweak that. And then that way I get the feedback back and I'm like, great. Now I can do the holistic edit, or I can do the final product and give it to you. So like the first edit of River Avenue, storyline wise, it was like really, really on point, but there was like no color, there was like no stabilization, and it was just different shots. And because I always set up the expectation to be like, hey, which of these shots that you like and which don't you like in the story of the music video. We were able to take that feedback and just tweak a few things. Because if I'd have sent her first draft and just like, yo, here's a video, tell me what you think, would have been brutal. Yeah. It would have been bad. Yeah. But controlling, that's just a big thing for me, controlling client expectations.
Got you.
To where you can better communicate.
Yeah. Effectively communicate. You said it earlier. Yeah, because communication is one thing.
Yeah.
I communicate to you and I can scream at you and I can blow in your face and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But effectively communicating is something that I've recently started to dissect. 2019. 2020. And what really gets me is people, we really think we got it.
That's true.
You know, we really think we got it enough to where we don't have to read new books, listen to new podcasts, find new people to watch, you know. And we really think we got it, bro. And I was in that place where I thought I was an effective communicator. And once I took the position at Voxel, I found out that I wasn't.
Right.
One was because whenever I was critiqued, there was a little part of me that I was like, man,
you feel like right here. It's not in the heart. It's like right below the heart. That's where you feel that.
But I like what you said was just to make it clear, be very transparent, put everything out on the table, and let them know what to expect.
Yep.
You know, so that's really big, man. That's really big. Would it be okay to put some of your work that you've done, like since you've been a freelancer, that you've done, like on the podcast?
Yeah,
would that be
feel
cool?
free. Yeah, I'll just send you a couple of video files to to look at and to like overlay and things like that.
Cool.
Because like most of the stuff I've done is like free to the public, and you can see it on different websites and other things. And that's probably like 60% of the stuff I do that I'm working on, probably 70 now. But and the other 30% is just perfecting the YouTube craft. So better internal videos. Yeah. And because practicing what I do on myself helps me better do it for the client. Yeah. I don't want to practice on the client and try something new.
Bro.
And
that's huge.
Yeah, that is like, huge. I kid you not, take chances. Yeah. And there is a Chris Doe had a call and a guy was talking about how he faked it till he made it. Like you gonna fake it till you make it. And and I might be butchering this, but it was either Chris or a person on the call that said you should believe it until you achieve it. Yeah. And I was like, that's a pretty positive spin on what can be interpreted negatively, because you shouldn't fake it for your client.
That's true.
Like believe in what you do wholeheartedly, and practice. But if you're a videographer, if you're a photographer, practice on yourself, practice on people for free. You know, people will tell you never do work for free. And I somewhat believe in that, but it shouldn't be work. It should be practice if you're doing it, you know, to get better, just so you can start. Yeah. Because once you start, you're consistently getting better at what you do, whether it be film, whether it be music, like, you know, because like you didn't start your first production with like paid for space, went straight into like people booking tickets and things like that, and y'all just not performing for the first time and you're getting together. You practice. Yeah. And you practice for yourself, then you show a few people and you're like, this works. And that's how I did it with film. I practiced on myself and I was like, all right, this is something new. Yeah. And I do more and more and more, and I do something for free for somebody else. And I'm like, all right, this is getting in the space I want to. Now I feel like I have the position and the skill set to charge clients and to be confident in what you charge. And that's a big thing.
Yeah, being confident, because a lot of creatives aren't confident in what they charge. And once you get confident, or once you gain confidence, you'll notice that people will stop. You will notice that people will stop. They'll leave you alone.
You'd be surprised.
You know, your family members won't hit you.
You'd be surprised at what like people think they can get from you. Yeah, like that is a big thing.
That's huge, man.
Yeah. Because I remember when I first started. Yeah. I say when I first started, I was still like 5 years in. I was doing senior portraits for college students, and I was like $50 for a set of senior portraits, which there's nothing wrong with charging $50 for senior portraits. But like I was doing, hey, I know it's hard to be a college student. Give me $50, I'll give you 5 headshots. And you know, essentially, if you need headshots or if you just want a couple senior portraits for the invitation, this is me helping you and this is you helping me, because I'm a broke college student too. And like the influx of the amount of people that were like cool, and the amount of work I had gotten myself into for just like $50, and I was like, okay, this wasn't worth it at all. So because now I'm shooting, 2-3 times a day, and I'm trying to do my schoolwork, I'm trying to work at Best Buy, and I'm trying to do other things, and now I'm like, okay, I kind of regret this. But now, if I do photo shoots, if I do senior portraits, and this could change at any moment, but like, I'm like, hey, it's $400 for a session, and I get a lot less inquiries. I still probably get like the same amount of inquiries, but I do a lot less work now for a lot more of the money. And you can position yourself for that with a ton of different things, because now I'm excited and I feel refreshed when I go out and shoot, and I create better portraits. And I put more into each shoot because I want to give them $400 or $500 like worth of stuff.
Yeah, that's
and
really good.
It helps make it better.
Yeah.
But because the volume is low, so there's something about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Between like who you say yes to and what you say no to. Like,
Got
that's
you.
just vital.
How'd you get to your price to where you are to be able to say it confidently?
I tell you how it started. It started off with my teacher saying, hey, if you're doing design work, the average designer makes $35 an hour just to do what you do. And my thing with that is I was like, okay, $35 an hour, but like there's this bug in my head that's like, what if it takes too long? Mm-hmm. And what if I charge the client more? That was the initial designer in me being like, well, I don't want to overcharge somebody for something that I do. Mm-hmm. Then as I got better at my craft, and this is something that like Chris Doe in the Future, they talk about, this is where I got Doe in the Future is where I got a lot of like the business sense of things that I do from. But as I got better as a designer and as I got better as a creative and a videographer, I'm like, okay, $35 an hour and I can do your video in 2 hours. Is your video worth $70? And it takes me, and it's like, wow. So because I'm better at what I do than other designers, I get punished because I do it more effectively and more and faster. And then my teacher will be like, well, your time is worth more because $35 an hour for you is worth a lot more than $35 an hour for other people. Yeah. And then that's when we started getting into, charging based on, what you feel like your time is worth. And then at that point I was like, well, my time to me is worth a lot more. And because I put a lot more effort than other people maybe. And that's what I kind of think. And then it all has to be worth it, to the clients, because if a client believes in what you do, you're good. Yeah. Because, and the problem with creatives, I don't want to say the problem with creatives because that is a bag of worms that I don't want to open. I don't want to be like, I'm the one guy who has all the answers. But the problem with young creatives that I've seen, that I've talked to, is they don't feel like their work is worth it. They don't feel like what they do, they could charge X amount of money. I posted a video not too long ago talking about how I filmed $3,000 interviews. Like I had somebody come up to me and they were like, hey, I want you to make a video that is these few interviews cut together, put the music, and it's a story video talking to a client about their brand. And for me, there was like a bug in there. It's like, there's gonna be a lot of work, but to me, I would do it if I can charge $3,000 for it. And they're like, cool. Love what you do. If that's what you charge, that's what I'm gonna pay. And then you start to get that little bit of confidence. Like, well, if I can charge 3, I might can charge 4. And the important thing and how I used to balance weddings is 50% of the people that inquire with you should be saying no. That's the number you want to aim for. If 100% of the people saying yes, you're charging too little. If you're getting like, that's just it. Yeah. If you're sending people pricing guides and they're like, cool, I'll cash app you right now. You're charging what you do. You charge too little for it. When you get a yes too fast, you now feel like, wow, I just cheated myself. Yeah. I used to do weddings. Oh man. I used to do weddings and I don't mind talking prices. I don't talk prices to be like cocky or confident. Yeah. I'm just a very transparent person. Yeah. I started off doing weddings for $350. Deliver like a ton of photos. I used to. When I finally got an editing style down, I would charge $900, and I would have some decent photos for $900 for a $900 photographer, and I would get people, and I just send my pricing and they're like, yeah. I ended up shooting like 20, 30 weddings one year, and I was like, okay, I need to cut this number back. This is a lot of work for a little bit of revenue. So now, like my average when I'm shooting a wedding, whether it be like film or photography, it's between, most of the time it's like $2,800. And for me, I honestly want like one of those per month, maybe like 5 to 10 per year, because now that completely like knocks out the volume of weddings that I used to do. So if you're going to double your price or triple your price, and that just reminds me, Doe said something. He was like, if you're charging an amount and you got a yes to that amount, double it. Like no matter what it was, I got a yes to $500 to do a video. My next video was $1,000, and I was like, okay, they said yes to that. Let's go for 2. Let's just try 2 for the same service. And it's not necessarily one person. It's different people. It's like, okay, people will pay $2,000 for video work, and I'm not running out of video work to do. Yeah. Well, let's charge 4. And I remember with me and Mo working, we got down and we charged, like, there was a video that we did, and after revisions and everything came back, and it ended up being like around 12. And I was like, this is crazy, because this same video that we would have done at Freelancers, 2-3 years ago, we would have charged $500 for it, because the what you put into it doesn't change too much. Like, it's about the confidence that you have to say the number that you want.
That's good.
And it's about what you feel like you're worth, because now I don't like have to go out and charge an extravagant amount, because I feel like I'm worth, a pretty good amount. Yeah. And I'm comfortable with that amount if my client is comfortable with it. And if both of us win, because I'm not trying to price gouge, I'm not trying to always get as much money. I'll take pay cuts if it brings in more work. Yeah. Like it's just simple. Like if I can effectively help them, I'll be like, yo, you can get this video for next to nothing, because I like you as a client and I want you to come back, and I want you to feel confident that I'm not just here to get the most money out of you, because I'm not. It's important to build client relationships, and I think that's been the only thing that's helped me be a successful freelancer, is building a relationship with a person, not a business. Like the business, they run the business, and I want to understand how I can help you, but build a relationship with the people in the business. Like that has gotten me so many connections and so many different like opportunities and jobs and things like that, to where now I don't have to do anything else if I don't want to, because I've partnered with different people to make my life a lot easier, to where I don't have to be like, all right, I gotta go sell this month. Yeah. I gotta figure out who I can call and who I can get video working, because I'm terrible at sales. Yeah. Like I don't like to say, hey, I'm gonna charge you this much for this service. I'm just terrible at sales. Yeah. I'd rather have somebody to partner with, have them just do that for me. So like the important thing I would do is, like, for young creatives or young people who are struggling in that aspect, partner with agencies, partner with design agencies. Good. Yeah. Be somebody's internal videographer. Be somebody's. People need internal videos and they don't know how to do them. Right, and you can be like, hey, I'll charge you X amount per week to do your video work. I won't be on your staff, but I will be like your dedicated freelancer. Yeah. And that'll get you some portfolio work. That'll get you just a ton of consistent revenue. But it gives you the freedom to still do the stuff that you want to do, instead of being tied down to work. And that's kind of what I've just kind of implemented. Yeah. And it's been really, really fun and really eye-opening to do.
That's cool, man. That's so clutch, because a lot of people don't want to connect with other people because they want to do it all themselves.
That's
because
true.
They want all, they want all the glory. They want all the glow up. So true. They are kind of afraid to connect with other people because they're afraid that the other people might get the value, might get the fame. Yep. That's not the case at all.
An important thing, Professor Cotton told me, he was like, if there's something that you can't do, that your client is inquiring you about, that you don't even feel comfortable doing, that you don't want to do, recommend somebody else. Yeah. And that's one thing, you can recommend somebody else, and the client will be like, yo, thanks for the recommendation. This person was fantastic. We want to work with you still. They'll come back to you, just do things holistically. Yeah. And Doe was like, if there's something that people are coming to you to do and you can't do it, find somebody who can. You can still take the project. I can't web code. Yeah. I can find somebody who can, You pay me, and you pay me a reasonable amount, I can figure it out. Like, that's the thing. Like, shooting, I had someone that was like a 3-person job. Let's just say somebody came to me and wanted to film a low budget film. I don't know. Low budget films are like technically $50,000 film, which is like ridiculous already. And they're like, hey, could you be like over the film crew for 10 grand? I'm like, yeah, I will pay somebody $7 grand to figure it out, and I'll still keep 3. Like, because if somebody came to me with $7 grand, was like, yo, can you figure this out? I'm like, yeah, I can figure it out. Like, so it's all about how you market yourself and how you are handling business, because there is something crazy good about being a connection point for a lot of different creatives. Bro. Like, there's something really, really powerful about that. Whether it be, as you said, whether it be in music, or like performing, or if you're a design agency, or if you're like, I feel like I have the 100% confidence to start a like full service design agency if I wanted to. Yeah. Because it's about the connection. It's about the connection. Like, man. I probably can go to somebody and be like, yo, who do you know? X, Y, and Z. Can I talk to them? And like sell myself to them? And then once I get their work, because of the connections I've made, and because of like, I know designers, I know film editors, I know people who shoot, I can be like, yo, I know you do this freelance. Let me help you out, and you like help me out. And it works because you pay people, and it's important. It's important. Like, you pay people a fair amount based on, and this is different. This is a different way of looking at it, based on what they believe is fair. So there was a thing that came up where we were talking in the pro group, and they were like, I don't feel right if I make $30,000 from a website and I pay somebody $1,500 to design it. It was like, how am I supposed to handle that situation? And he was like, well, is that price that you paid the designer, did they feel like that was fair for them? Were they okay with shooting, with like designing a website for $1,500? They're like, yeah, that's what they charge, and they do good work. But like, I feel guilty for doing that, and it's because that designer hasn't taken the opportunity to, one, formalize their business, look for the particular clients, position themselves in the way to where they would charge, $30,000 for a website when you have. So the important thing about paying people what they believe is fair to do the work that you like don't want to do. If somebody paid me $3 grand to edit a 1-minute video, I am not gonna be mad that they made $150,000 for that video, because I shouldn't be. I shouldn't like have the right to, because I'm completely cool with making what I charge. And I'm like, yeah, I killed it. I made $3,000 to edit this video, and it was like no work. And then you find out, and you're like, yeah, but they made $150. How do you feel? And it's like, well, I can only be mad at myself because I'm the one who charged. They came to me and inquired, and they were like, how much do you charge for video? And I'm like, with confidence, I'm like, I charge this. At that point, it's only a learning. I can only learn from it. I can be like, okay, maybe what I do is more valuable, and maybe what I need to dig deeper and position myself to find these people who are doing $150,000 jobs, because apparently they're out there. Yeah. Because that was something when we first met, when you recommended us to Phil and Joe, when we first met Voxo, we charged them like $700. No, we charged them $500 to do, and we believe that's how much it costs. And then they came back, they were like, we had like $9,000 budgeted out for this video, and you charged $5, so thanks. And now we feel stupid, because now we're like, oh, we underestimate what we do. Like, what we do as creatives, it's much, much more valuable than what we believe it is. Yeah, but sometimes it takes you being put in that situation. It takes other people seeing your value, in order for you to understand your value. That is spot on. Yeah, I'm a plug that. That's kind of like my plug signal, bro. Like that. whenever you say so, I done did it. I love that. Because that's spot on. Like, it wasn't until I realized that I was doing similar work to somebody who charged like $5,000 for a wedding, and I'm charging $300. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to like raise my prices a little bit. And like, as a creative, we're so scared of no. You have to embrace it. You got to embrace being told no. I look for people to not respond to me when I tell them a price.
Dang, bro, you have said two things that I just listened to a clip of a podcast from A-Rod, and he said that no gives him fuel.
Yep.
And earlier you said that connections were the key. And I was messaging a designer for a show called The Handmaid's Tale yesterday. And she said, I asked her for like some tips on like for young designers. And she said connections.
100%.
Like build your connections. So connections and no.
It would
plug it.
Plug it. I love that.
Plug it, bro.
So joining, like, there's plenty of different groups of people who connect that do what you do.
Yep.
And I joined a bunch of free Facebook groups, and I've joined some paid groups, and I now have access to people. If I wanted somebody to edit what I did now, and people that charge like $30-$40 an hour to edit that do amazing work, I now have that opportunity because I went out of my way to join these particular groups and just make myself known in these groups. And people are always looking for work.
Yeah.
People are like always wanting like more and more stuff to do. So like, even if you can't offer them stuff, just build connections with them.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
You never know what they may have that they can't do themselves, and they need somebody to do for you. Like
that's
to
so
do.
True.
So yeah, you're right. Connections and no, because right now, everything I do, I'm really comfortable with doing myself. Like I'm in a place where I'm like, all right, I'm comfortable with the edit and the timeline because I don't have to do much else. But it ever gets to a spot where I'm doing a lot more, one, amazing because I'm making a lot more money. Now I'm making money over my work limit that I can do as one person. And now I need to take this extra bit and budget it out and be like, hey, who can do what I do? And if you don't have that connection, you're gonna be stuck and be like, well, I gotta start saying no to people who want my work.
Oh my gosh.
And that is a no-go for me.
Yeah.
So there's two things you can do. And I thought about this on the ride over here, and I hope I don't butcher this, but there's two things you can do. If you're getting an excess amount of work in that you can't do, you may be charging too low. If you are making, I don't want to mess this up, but if you may be charging too low. If you're like, you have so much work and you can't do it yourself, that means people are saying yes and yes and yes.
Yep.
And if you start charging more, you should start getting less. Because as I said, there's always and I just butchered what I thought about earlier because I can't remember it. Like I'm just gonna freestyle it here, but there's always, I try to keep that ratio at 50% as much as I can.
Yeah. So
little odd jobs, little like small things that come in, I don't want to do it because my time is better allocated. Would you rather spend your time spending 10 hours editing a $200 video that you said yes to, or would you rather spend your 10 hours editing a $2,000 video that you said yes to? Because now my 10 hours is a lot more valuable over here. And if I say yes to this $200 to spend time just to make this $200, I've missed out on the time I could have spent saying yes to something a lot more valuable.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sorry, but I gotta put this plug here. Time is the most important thing that we have here on Earth.
It's the most valuable. It's the most valuable thing we have.
Bro. It's so valuable. I didn't learn the importance of time until I connected with a group, man. That's crazy. Like till I connected with people that had more than me, that were where I wanted to be. Maybe not physically, but like financially, you know. And until I connected with those people who had that, and I could see that, and I started asking myself, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And I wasn't taking advantage of time because I would go, oh man, I would travel to the South, leading worship everywhere, and I'm thinking, man, like, dude, it's blowing up. But really, I wasn't charging nothing, you know. And once you see that value, man, and going back to the parable, once you double what what God has given you, and you start doubling and tripling and quadrupling, bro, that's when it's like, okay, now I have way more time. I can take way more advantage of my time. I can spend some time with my family. I can spend some time with my girlfriend. I can spend some time with my dog, with whatever, bro. And it feels good. You know, I'm not so beat. Whenever I first got married, dude, Shanice, she was like, babe, I didn't realize how many people had their hands on you. And I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't realize how many people like you helped. And I was like, dang, I'm helping everybody and I'm over here hurting, you know? Yep. So it was like time out. And I remember, bro, when I first got, whenever I got the revelation of time, this guy came up to me. I saw him at the Hippo, and he said, Chance, you used to be everywhere, man. I saw you, you used to be leading worship everywhere, every week. And I said, yeah, I don't no more, but I don't lead worship every week, but I make more money. Ain't that funny? Yeah. Like, that's hilarious, because man.
You started putting the appropriate value where it should be.
Yep. And then you realize that people don't really value you like you think they do.
That is, oh boy, that is so real.
They don't value. Oh, we'll put you up in a hotel. Nah, dog, you finna cover my hotel, you finna cover my ride, you finna cover my gas there and back, you finna cover me for my team, you finna cover me after my team for us to eat, you finna cover it all. Oh, my bad. Nah, man, I can't do that.
Nah, if I gotta like support you, nah.
I'm not. And that's not real support. Yeah. That's not real support, man.
That's somebody who wants to gain something from you that they can't get themselves with the least amount of expense that they possibly can.
Golly, dude. Golly. They see your value. They see that they can get what they want out of you, bro. And that's what they want. But they don't want to pay. Yep. They want you.
That is, as like as a creative, I recommend like not working with family. Yeah. Like since like always, like if you start a business, it's hard to say no to family. Because once you do, it's liberating. I kid you not. Once you're in the position to be like, oh yeah, so it'll be $2,500 to do this, and then they're like, I mean, cuz what that family discount? That is the discount. Cause you lucky. I don't say what like I want to say. And at that point, that was when I was like, still knowing I was like undervalued for a specific thing, but you gotta value your time, and you gotta realize who values your time.
And you also have to realize how many people are out there. Yeah. How many more people are in the world versus Hattiesburg. Yeah. Or your city. That's why. Wherever you are. You gotta realize that. Dude, I want to go to, because you've been speaking of you said it earlier, you mentioned consistency. Correct. You mentioned consistency. And one reason that I'm like really attracted to like your work ethic is because it's so consistent. Every week, every Thursday or Friday, sometimes Sunday, you drop these amazing YouTube videos, which I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna plug it in, bro, because it's not the video, because you see the videos all over YouTube. Right. It's the consistency.
That was one thing that was probably, all right, so the channel I have now was derived from like an old channel that we had. And one thing that we were not was consistent. And that was always something that bugged me.
Stop right there. All right. Because, man, it's so important for you to be able to call out stuff like that. Yeah. For you to be able to look at yourself and not wait for anybody else to tell you. Because a lot of times we know, but we're just afraid. And dude, I tell you, man, I tell people this all the time. You have to be able to look at yourself and say, I'm not consistent. Right. I'm not good at this. I need to get better. Right. You have to be able to look at your family and say, they're not where I want to be, so I need to look at somebody else. Right. And there's just the realness, dude. I respect, bro.
Self-evaluation is one. It's something you should do I do it every week. It's something that I either have wins. I always have wins, or I fail at some things. And it's important to take time. Usually I take time every Monday to reflect on what I've done for the week. Mm-hmm. Like, because I start off with writing a list, and it's like, did I accomplish what I set out to do? And why not? Most of the time it's because I was just being lazy. Yeah. Like, that is probably, for me, that was like the only thing. So when it came to YouTube, so recently I started doing YouTube in January, and I haven't done anything super special. The main things, and if you want some bomb YouTube tips, we about to plug this. But so since January, and it's currently like mid-April, so in like 4 months, I've done about 250 subscribers a month. Like, so 1,000 subscribers. And I wasn't expecting to do like any, because we had the channel for like 2 years and we only got to like 300. And I was like, well, this is like any going rate, I just gotta grind this thing out. But the important thing was people started coming to the channel and they started commenting on like the consistency of the work, and they're like, bro, you're always dropping something, and I love that I can have a reliable source to come to. And I was like, oh, so this is kind of something I should be like heavy on.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do twice a week when I started, and I was doing twice a week for a bit. Twice a week was a little demanding. And I was like, all right, I can scale the quality. I can scale the quality and make each video higher quality content, but do one video a week. Because there's this thing that I've like made up my mind for YouTube, is like, I'm either gonna have the absolute highest quality and post once a month, or I'm gonna have lower quality content with a higher consistent rate of posting. Bro. So I've been trying to like find that balance. And right now that balance is like every Thursday to every Friday. Sometimes some videos take more time. Sometimes I'm actually working on client stuff and videos suffer because of that. But I don't want to miss a week, and I don't, because the important thing with doing what you love and doing it creatively is you got to make it as important as the stuff that's making me money. So
say that one more time.
I said you got to make it more, like not more important, but you got to make it as important as the thing that makes me money. Because if you don't, you're not gonna put effort into it. So a big thing that YouTube used to suffer, because I was like, this isn't a source of income. This isn't. So it's not making me money, so let's just put it off on the back burner and we gotta pay the bills, and we gotta do X, Y, Z. And it wasn't until I made it a necessity, and I started saying no to hanging out with people. And I started saying no to like specific things, because I was like, I have to work on my YouTube video tonight. I have to create something tonight. And because I gave it value, it started prospering. And even it's like it's small wins, but the journey is like just beginning, and I'm already seeing like just like fruits of labor. So I would recommend making it important. If it's something that you want to do, like really, really make it a part of your life and make it important. Like one thing I've done recently is I've enjoyed creating content in my house so much that I've switched my bedroom and my office.
Bro, it's so powerful.
Like, so, because I realized originally I started the traditional house plan.
Stop right there.
All right.
So you switch your bedroom and your office. Which one is bigger?
So my bedroom is like huge. Like originally I moved in the house. So I stay in an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment. The office was like a 10 by 14 space. The bedroom is like 17 or 18 by like 17. It's like a huge space. And I just had a bed in there. And I had everything cramped in my office, which was my creative space. And I was in there every day, and I spent like 8 hours a day just sitting in my office at my computer. And then I started feeling a little cramped, and I was like, wow, I wish I had more space. I could do so much more if I had, more space. And a friend of mine, M-Dub, came over.
Plug.
M-Dub, we love you. M-Dub. She was like, you ever thought about just like filming in your bedroom? And I was like, I have, but it's a lot of effort to take my bed out and put my desk in there. And I was like, wow.
But I got a question. Is your dream, is your vision important enough to take the bed?
That is exactly what the thought process. I was like, wow. I'm really saying no to having a bigger creative space and having the spot that I need, because I just don't want to put effort into it. And I told M-Dub, and I was like, dude,
you dropping some.
Dude, I told M-Dub, I was like, I'll do it next month. And she was like, all right, this is that. She was like, that sounds good. At least you like thinking about it. And I left, and within like 3 hours, within 3 hours of just thinking on it, I ordered wallpaper. I started mapping out the floor plan, and within 6 days, I had everything moved out. Like I couldn't wait. I had friends who wanted to help, and a friend he wanted to help, and he was like, yo, let me know so I can come over, and this is that and that. And the first night he was like, I actually can't come over tonight, but we can do it, tomorrow. by tomorrow I had it finished.
Yeah.
Because I was I was like, I want this.
Yeah.
Because this space is what I need.
Yeah.
And this is freeing creatively.
Yeah.
And I've been able to pretty much make my dream office in my house.
Wow.
So now my bedroom is where I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, cause that's all I do in my bedroom. Like,
Man, that's
I don't do anything else
Yeah.
except sleep. So I was like, wow, I don't really need all this space. But in my office,
Yeah.
I work, I film, I schedule meeting with people, I teach people, and I'm like, I always was like, it would be great to just have a bigger spot.
Yeah.
And it's like the only thing that's stopping me was me.
So I got a question. So
what's up?
You said you bought wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
You invested into a space that was only used to like shoot in and your office.
Yep.
Is that important to being creative?
This making my office the way I've envisioned it and the way that's pretty much like freeing from my heart has been the best decision I've ever made. Like, I have never been so productive because now I have a space where I don't feel cramped. I don't feel like I'm in a little room, or I don't feel like I'm at my desk in my bedroom, because when I first moved to my apartment, I had my computer desk right in front of my bed. So I would just come in there and then a program would start saving and I'd be like, all right, I'd just go to sleep and I'd be done. So separating, and then I was like, all right, I'm working. I was like, but this room feels like cluttered and cramped. It looks good, but if I bring in a light, room is full. I was like, all right, I definitely need, more space to effectively do what I want to do. So having a creative space has just been, dude, it's been so liberating, because now I go in my office. I have a standing desk. I have my shelves that has like art, and I have art lining the walls, and it's just an artistic space. Yeah. And it's calming. I have like different lights, and I get to sit there and I'm like, yo, I enjoy being in here. Yeah. And I get to create, and I get to do something I love. And if I'm feeling like antsy, I bought a chair just for that. I bought a chair just to relax in. And if I want to lay down, like, yo, take a 15-minute nap on the couch. Yeah. And get back at it. Yeah. And all of that I can do within that space now. Wow. And now, because of the way it's designed, I put 3 different YouTube sets in there. So now when I film videos, I can sit on the couch with a black backdrop. And I can have color. I can sit in front of my coffee area. I can sit in front of the entire, studio set, because I knew I wanted to make YouTube important. And I knew I wanted to make YouTube important enough to have a full backdrop and to have it versatile and to have the space just to film in. If I didn't do YouTube, I wouldn't have moved that space, because it was good enough to get by. Like when I was working, I was like, yeah, it's a small space, but it's good enough to get by, and it was good enough to get by for a year. I didn't change it for a year, and then like the moment I started doing YouTube, the moment I gave something creative in my life real importance, I was like, there's no reason to hold back. There's no reason to like not make this thing valuable to me. Dang. So it was valuable enough to me to completely switch my house around. Yeah. So, and I don't even look back. It's worth it. It was 100% worth it. Wow. And now when I create videos, dude, it feels so easy to film, because I'm like, I have so much space to work with now. Yeah. And like that small change, and for me, it's just something in my house. That small change has been so much more eye-opening. But
wow.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, that's amazing, man. I can't wait for people to see this. I can't wait for your YouTube videos to just go viral, everyone. I can't wait. I'm subscribing, I'm sharing, I'm doing anything that I can, man, because I support.
I appreciate it. You have been like 100%, like,
dude,
the most consistent, probably like the biggest supporter I have. And I'm fan, like truly grateful, and like same, because that's why I always wear like your merch and stuff like that. It's not to sell. It's not to like, show people, hey, I got this. It's a reminder to do what I love, like, and don't let anybody tell me otherwise. That's because powerful. You started before I did, and I drew inspiration from what you did. I was like, man, Chance is really putting himself out there.
Wow.
And like he's really pursuing what he wants to do. And then I was like, borderline, it was like almost like as a tribute, I was like, I wanna do the same.
Yeah.
So like every time I wear like the third world stuff, it's just a reminder for me to like not hold back and consistently be creative.
That's so powerful.
Every time, bro.
Bro, that is the perfect spot to end this thing at.
Absolutely.
I couldn't think of I couldn't say anything that would be a better stop this podcast, man. Dude, I appreciate you so much, bro,
you, Chancellor,
for coming on tonight.